The approach to Iron Bridge. The idea here is to actually begin the approach to this by actually entering through the earth itself. So we have a berm on either side, a cut through, and you begin to immediately see a proscenium in which what is on display is the prairie. The idea here is immediately your first contact with this site is coming through this space with the long view of the prairie in the background. The rammed earth walls that will contain all of the sort of interpretive information, hopefully embedded, right, actually cast in the wall. Very, very, very permanent. Where you actually will see, perhaps, the root structure, which again, the prairie, the first contact with this building is you're immediately seeing evidence about what is actually occurring underground. And again, the idea is to have this framed view of this very, very vast landscape. Site plan, keep it very, very compact. Don't feel compelled to move any roadways. Leave it where it is. Keep the footprint large. Get rid of the cars. Get rid of the horse trailers. Again, stay on the periphery. Reconfigure the demonstration gardens so that you actually go from the car through the demonstration gardens into this cut through the earth into the learning center, into the large communal space. The footprint of the actual building, the plan of the actual building, this being the entryway, this being the large communal space. The idea of having a prow that actually projects out into the prairie. Again, the idea here is to get intimate contact with the prairie. We know that has to be, in sun. The prairie is going to burn every 5 years, but the idea is to actually get a prow out into the prairie where people can gather around and have very close. A section illustrating this gull wing roof under which all this occurs. Again, this relationship between what you're standing on and the mature tallgrass prairie is something very important to us. We almost want to feel like this is socketed into the earth somewhat. That you're eye to eye with this. You feel enveloped by the prairie as this projects out. In the large gathering space, now the projection all the way out. These angles just showing different times of the year, the sun's penetration. And then the idea of being in this main social space, a built-in seat, again, built at the rammed earth, the fireplace in the back. The idea of having this projection out where you actually socket this building down and into the Tallgrass Prairie. The view now standing southeast. And a view from one of the extents of those arms that reach out into the prairie, again from the east. This is our popular mechanics drawing of the building, specifically Iron Bridge, although all the strategies are used on both sides. This insulated tank is our thermal battery for the site. It just holds hot water year-round. Well, perhaps just in the winter. This hot water comes from two sources, the sun and biomass furnace. So the biomass furnace here is off to the left, and this will have to be serviced weekly as it gets larger, perhaps. The underground of this building illustrating a couple strategies. The radiant tubes in the floor to keep the place warm, the batteries that love to be warm in the winter, domestic water being heated, again with that, replacement air coming in through earth tubes, entering the building. That air is exhausted through the composting sweet-smelling toilets, the really sweet-smelling toilets. Those vaulted toilet chambers, whether they be composting or conventional or vaulted, that airflow all solid-state lighting. And on the roof, rainwater collection, but just to recharge groundwater. To one side, illustrating these evacuated tube collectors for hot water. These can take half of the sun's energy because we're not using heat to make work. We're actually using heat for heat, so we can be very efficient with these. Those are 50% efficient as opposed to its companions on the roof, the PVs, which are only in the teens in terms of efficiency, but still very, very convenient and mature. Technology, this being the wind turbines that draw air from the toilet vaults. Moving to the River Road site now. Again, taking a far different approach in terms of geometry, where Iron Bridge is built into more of an organic landscape. This one is regimented according to the Jefferson. Again, the idea on the approach is that all these parts of the program now that are exploded are still organized along a central wall here, and this low wall serves as a gateway, an element to organize this, an element to actually climb back and forth, or to pass in between, to climb on this ramp here, which ultimately gets us to an outlook. Again, that ramp being made of earth. It's not a structure that hovers above. This is the service building here. This is more a larger shot of the rows here. The sort of service building underneath the trees. The pavilion out in the sun. Another look at that, the western extent of this, where you actually ramp up to an overlook. And then we have another component of this, which actually now is making use of some of that timber material that's on site, albeit within the trees, right? This site doesn't burn. And the idea is that you have a peak through where you can see both fields in operation. A sketch of the approach. So now you're coming down that road. You're getting indication of this low earthen wall that you'll pass through, go park in the far end, and then return on your visit. This is right where that intersection with the road is, looking west. So that you begin to pick up, again, the continuity of the wall. Again, the wall being embedded with information and interpretive information. This more servant building here being socketed underneath the trees, or buried underneath the trees. And then the pavilion, which is out in open display. And then the open pavilion. Looking back towards the east here, now we've passed the pavilion, the barbecue area. On our way up, the ramp will be to our left here. And the idea is about being on the overlook. Here is, again, a different strategy here. We're up out of the ground, where we can actually have a vast view of all the seabed operations, and on a pleasant day, a place to hang. A section through this, again, you can see only part of the gull wing here on the service building, but that the profile is maintained. And again, you see these sort of sedimentary layers, so to speak, with the rain dirt. Section through the pavilion. This is showing harvesting rainwater if it's valuable on this site, which it may be as opposed to perhaps the other site. And then at the extreme end, where we have this overlook, and then launching into this tree house that actually just passes through the trees from one field to the other. And then the nice shot, again, illustrating gathering around that fire in that